What if I told you there was a simple framework that's going to allow you to pull in a limitless stream of clients from LinkedIn? Not only that, it can be automated, saving you a load of time. And it doesn't require you pitching people in a way that makes you feel dirty or spending all of your budget on ads.
Hey, that's pretty good.
In fact, I'm about to showcase something so cutting edge, you're not going to find it anywhere else. Deep down, you know that immediately pitch slapping a new connection with a cringy message about how amazing your business is doesn't work. And you also know that with B2B, you really need to build relationships with people for them to buy from you. And you're right in both of those cases. I'm John and I run a LinkedIn lead generation company. We've helped hundreds of companies generate tens of thousands of leads. And we've also managed over 2 million in ad spend on LinkedIn alone. I've perfected this framework, which is called the LinkedIn Lead Lure Framework. And today I'm going to share it with you for free. And between us, LinkedIn isn't just a den of the worst type of influencers, it's a goldmine, and it can be insanely powerful if you know where and how to dig. And we're going to be using all of LinkedIn: organic content, Sales Navigator, and ads. The great part is you can take any individual part of the LinkedIn Lead Lure framework and run it on its own and it'll work. But if you stack them all together, things pop off. This strategy has powered both startups and established brands to skyrocket their lead generation. With this, we've taken companies who have struggled to generate anything to generating over 200 inbound inquiries a month. In fact, by implementing only one element of the LinkedIn Lead Lure framework, the average company sees a 164% increase in inquiries through LinkedIn. So if you are a B2B business owner who's serious about skyrocketing their growth through LinkedIn, you're in the right place. I am going to be showing you real-life demonstrations, from crafting compelling content with our 5-minute framework to setting up and running low-budget but high-efficiency ads and managing tools such as Sales Navigator. It's hands-on learning at its finest. You will soon remember that LinkedIn was that beast that you couldn't conquer. After this video, you're going to know everything you need to be able to absolutely dominate.
Can't defeat me.
No, I know. But he can.
And this is just the beginning. On this channel, I've made videos that go into more depth on every single element of the LinkedIn Lead Lure framework, all entirely for free. In fact, after this video, I'd suggest you go and watch either our ultimate guide to LinkedIn Sales Navigator or our ultimate guide to LinkedIn ads. Your competitors might be on LinkedIn, but with the LinkedIn Lead Lure framework, you will be leagues ahead. So if you're ready to reel those leads in, let's dive in. So we want to start by creating content that's going to warm up prospects that we want to reach out and speak to, and also nurture those people who we're already in conversation with. When we're creating this content, there are 3 core content pillars that we want to follow. 1/3 should purely entertain them, and the last third should be focused on hero stories. If you're a personal brand, hero stories is simply how you learned the skill you have or how you developed that skill. If you're a company and not a personal brand, that's absolutely fine. The hero story is background of the company and also case studies and things like that, how you took X company to Y result. You want to start creating this content and posting one piece daily. After you've posted the content, spend about 10 minutes commenting on other people's content. When we get to the later stages, you'll understand why we're doing that and the impact it's going to have. And if you're struggling to come up with ideas for content, or you need help with that content generation, it's part of our service. You can find out more via a link in the description below. And a few bonus tips around content. When you're posting this content, you want it to be on your personal page. So usually the owner of the company or someone senior in the business should be posting it on their own personal Instagram page. Company pages have far less reach than personal pages, so you're going to have more success doing exactly the same thing on a personal page instead of a company page. But yet again, I have a way to work around that. coming up in the video in a second. So now that we have some content, we want to make sure that content is actually being seen by the people that matter. It can take years to build a following on LinkedIn, and sometimes you're just at the whim of external factors, but we want to see results immediately. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a low spend and high return LinkedIn ads campaign. And all we're going to do is take the content that we already generated organically that has performed the best, and we're going to add it to our LinkedIn campaign. Then within the LinkedIn campaign manager, we're going to set up audiences for people who have visited our website, viewed our LinkedIn company page, and in a second, which I'm going to get to again, this framework really all ties together. We're going to set up audiences as well for people who have already viewed other elements of our campaign, such as watching videos or clicking on these new pieces of creative that we're about to upload. Now this campaign is going to start nurturing people who've already shown an interest. Good times. John from the future here. If you're enjoying this video and you can consider leaving a like or subscribing, greatly appreciated. Also, if you're thinking, wow, all of this is really overwhelming, I either want someone to do it for me or I want someone to hold my hand through the whole process, that's cool. There's a link in the description below with our services where we can help. Anyway, on with the video. So there is a principle that actually comes from the world of pickup artists from the early noughties, and it's called the 7-hour rule. And there's also another rule called multiple hits. And basically how this principle works is, for someone to feel comfortable enough to buy your service, they need to have spent about 7 hours with you to feel that level of comfort and trust. By interacting with them multiple times in different contexts, we amplify the perceived amount of time that they have spent building that comfort with us. This is the primary principle behind why we're creating organic content and why we're running these ads, so that we can nurture those people and build those relationships, which is really required in B2B to make sure that this all works. But we're not done. This is surface level and we're going to come back to it soon. And when we do, we're going to make it work even harder for us. You'll understand in a second. So next up, we need to find our ideal prospects, and we're going to use Sales Navigator to do so. We have an entire in-depth guide on Sales Navigator, which I highly recommend you check out. So I'm not going to go into loads of depth because of that other video, but high level, what we're going to do is we're going to use Sales Navigator to find a list of our ideal target audience. Then, once we've generated this list, we're going to use software, and in this example, I'm using something called Pippi Leads to rip that list from LinkedIn so that we can gain people's email addresses, and it's also going to take their LinkedIn profile URLs as well. We're then going to run sanity checks on the information just to make sure it is correct using something called Zero Bounce. Now, once we've done that, we have a list of potential clients. We not only have their names, we have the companies they work at, we have their LinkedIn profile URL, and we have their email address. Now, most other videos talk through that thing and they say send messages to them. And ultimately, that does work if you do it with enough volume and your messages are good enough. But we don't want to do that because it feels a bit icky sometimes. And that's why we built this whole other framework. So this next step is going to utilize everything else we've set up before and increase the effectiveness of us sending a message. So this part is the lure. This is where it really starts to come together. Now, because we've already set up our organic content and our ads, we have a network of things that start feeding and linking into each other. So everything starts supporting each other and it all becomes stronger than its individual parts. Every element feeds into each other and back around and around. So here is the secret that's going to massively amplify the effectiveness of your lead generation activities on LinkedIn. We're going to take that massive list we have of potential clients and we're going to upload it into that LinkedIn ads campaign that we set up. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to start presenting our top performing content to all of our potential prospects. Every time they log into LinkedIn, they're going to see us and they're going to see us at our best. This starts the multiple hits theory and it starts the 7 hours of comfort building. This means that when we do reach out to people, they've already seen us. They already feel like they kind of know us. So it's like we're going in warm. We're not going in cold anymore. We're opening a conversation with someone who's like, wait a minute, I keep seeing you around. So what we're doing is we're passively warming people up. So now we have all of this set up. Now we go into the part whereby we can outreach to people. We're going to use an automation tool. In this instance, I'm using Lemlist, and we're going to use that automation tool to automatically visit people's profiles and then send them a connection request. With the connection request, we're not adding any text or any pre-written phrase that they know has been written once and is not personalized to them. We're just leaving it completely blank. And then we're going to set up automations to send our first 1 to 2 messages. In terms of writing these messages and setting everything up, all of that's included in something called the Controlled Growth Framework version 3, which is our primary service that we offer to clients. If you want to learn more, there's a link in the description below. But some quick tips to make sure that you're on the right track. We want to keep our messages insanely short. None of this essay writing stuff. We want to make sure that the message is about them and their problems and not about us. If we write a message that says, we're this company and we do this and we, if it's all about you, it won't work. If it's about them and how you can help them, these messages will work. The first message is going to be presenting them with our value proposition. So we take a simplified version of our offer and we just present it to them in a short, simple, concise way. If you don't know how to do that, again, it's part of our service that we provide to run you through how to build that out. And we also have other videos on YouTube if you want to go digging that cover this. So you can teach yourself all of this if you want to. It's all on the channel. And I know you're switched on because you're still watching, so you've probably realized how all this connects. The content that we're organically putting out there is being seen by everyone in our network. On a daily basis, we're adding to that network by sending out more connection requests. We're messaging people, so not only are they seeing the stuff in our ads, which are guaranteed to be seen, but the organic content and the new stuff we're putting out there, they're also seeing. So we're just constantly nurturing people and putting people into this big drum where it all sort of feeds together. And if you pitch them in that first message and it doesn't work, that's absolutely fine. We're going to change our tact though, and instead of sending a follow-up message saying, sorry, did you see my first message? We're instead going to start asking questions. Questions are inherently about them and they're designed to basically help them. So your response rate to questions will be far higher. And the goal is simply to open up a conversation. So now you know how the LinkedIn lead lure framework operates, but to operate at maximum efficiency, you need to make sure that the ads section is set up flawlessly. And unfortunately, there's a whole host of mistakes that newbies make that can make this whole thing crumble. So I'd suggest watching this video, The Ultimate Guide to LinkedIn Ads. It's going to talk you through how to set all of that up so you make sure you get it right first time.